So I'm glad you found time to joining us today. And you know what's happening right now after all the Valentine's Day photo shoots. Some of you have tons of commercial projects for Ramadan and Chinese New Year, for example. And there is another when work turns into conveyor belt. So today's our goal is to make your workflow less stressful and more optimized so you don't burn out and actually enjoy the process, enjoy of editing and culling your images. So actually, many photographers have a problem, and research shows that photographers begin to burn out when routine tasks such as culling and retouching take more than 70% of their working time. So you can tell me in the webinar chat. So what about you? How much time do you spend on routine operations? So for example, 1 hour of shooting and how many hours of editing? So if that number is 2 hours or more, then today's webinar will definitely be useful to you. So today we are going to reduce that routine, give you back time for life and creativity. And this is how we will do it. So we will edit some images, find some duplicates, find some rejected photos, and process them. So the agenda for today is, so firstly, I would like to show you pre-retouch methods. So what to do before actually the photo shoot, before even you press the shutter. So I will walk through the entire workflow from preparation to the final export. So how to prepare for your ideal photo shoot and pre-retouch method. So how to use a culling, and I will show you two retouching workflow without Photoshop using Retouch4me ARAMS and Retouch4me Apex. So at each stage, I will share a practical recommendation that will save you time, money, and probably clients also. So let's start with the mood boards. Does anyone use mood boards for your work? Just type in the webinar chat. So mood boards or storyboards. So it's like your insurance policy. So you need to agree with your client in advance before photo shoot what they will get. So, and in most cases, what is beautiful for you and what is beautiful for your client, it's the different things. So sometimes you have slightly different tastes, and sometimes if you provide the photos with a glossy skin, your clients will not appreciate that. So first of all, you need to prepare like a mood board about your future photo shoot. So you can put some images together, collage them, or you can use Pinterest board or PDF presentation for your clients using images like the picture here in this presentation. So you need to talk with your clients. First of all, the whole color grading of your images, the idea, so what you will be. Then you need to talk about the skin retouching. So sometimes clients need really glossy skin, like in magazines and so on. But sometimes you need more texturized skin, more natural edit. Um, and you need to talk about it before photo shoot, because otherwise you will be remaking your images for your clients. So um, the mood board, it's not like the pictures, it's like agreement with your clients. And also you need to discuss what you should do with some moles, scars, and should you liquefy the body and the face also? Because sometimes people prefer to have some scars and moles on face and bodies, but sometimes not, and you need to discuss it before the photo shoot. And also, you need to probably show the images that you will not get during the photo shoot. So if you're shooting for a long time, probably you already have like portfolio, your own photography style, and if your client asks you to create some images out of your style, so make sure that you're agreed that you will not do such images because uh, you will not be so it's not possible to show such images in your portfolio later because you don't do it. And even if you create such images for your clients, the clients can post such images in the social media, and other people will see them and ask you to do the same. So it will ruin your photography style. No, also you can discuss the look. So should your photo shoot be warm or cold, dark or bright? So this is like the common questions. And sometimes, so mood boards are really awesome if you have like more than 10 photo shoots per week. And so there are lots of work for preparing for a shoot, like the clothes and color of the clothes. So as you may see here, there are no like bright colors, white, brown, gray, and black. So it's the whole photo shoot is stylized before even it. So let me check the webinar chat, guys. Yeah, so using the mood boards is really essential, and some photographers I know that they take additional money for this, and the clients appreciate that because photographer takes the time to make it. So it's like the project for the photo shoot, and actually it will help your clients to find the clothes and to find the meaning of the whole photo shoot. This is really great. So let's move to the creating of the clean frame. So the clean frame is when there is nothing to clean. And when you're creating your photo shoots, for example, you're shooting people in the studio, you need to be really prepared. So everything you can do before you click, you should do it. Because otherwise, you will spend a lot of time fixing this in Photoshop or other editors, retouching them, and so on. And if you're shooting people, of course, you need to think about the makeup. And the most common problem, I think, while you're shooting in the studio and with the artificial lighting is that is oily shine on the skin. So you need to matte it down. You can find makeup artists to do something with the skin of the people, or you can find some tutorials on YouTube and do it by yourself. But if you're shooting people with oily shine on the face, it is really so adjust it in other programs. So we have the special AI plugin which is called Retouch4me Mattifier, but it is better to prevent the oily shine before photo shoot. Also, you need to pay attention to the skin color, and sometimes if the makeup artist is not great, and after the photo shoot, you can find that the color and tone of the skin on the face and on the neck are different, and you have to do something with it in other programs during editing. So also You need to remove all trash from the frame. If you're shooting people outside, so try to clean everything up, to clean trash in the background. If you're shooting people in dark or black clothes, so you need to remove all these small dust particles from the clothes before photo shoot. So you can use brushes, you can use some uh, cleaners for the clothes. So it is better to onion clothes before photo shoot. So actually we have some plugins that can work with the dust, which is called Retouch4me dust plugin, and that can make the clothes looks nice and shine without any wrinkles. So the name of the plugin is Retouch4me Fabric, but it is better to do this before photo shoot. And of course, you need to work with the light because photography is like uh, painting with the light, and if you set the incorrect light or bad light during the photo shoot, so you will not be able to recreate it unless you just have the ability to paint actually lighting on your images, so you have to be the painter in this way. So lighting is the key, and if you're shooting in the studio, at least I think you should have two lighting sources. But in this image on the screen, on the sorry, bottom right corner of the picture with the man, there are three light sources for the background, for the forehead, and for the back. So you need to avoid a flat look of your images when you're creating images in the studio. So the same thing if you're shooting people outside, so you can work with the lights also, and maybe we can discuss it later. Sometimes if you need to recreate makeup on your images, you can use AI plugins also. And in this case, you can use the plugin which is called Face Make. There you can uh, make some face lifting and recreate makeup. So if you need to, it works automatically. It finds the eyes and lips and the faces on the images, and you can just apply the makeup uh, from that plugin. So there are lots of options there. Also, if you need to remove wrinkles from the clothes, you can use Retouch4me Fabric plugin, or if you need to remove dust and small particles from the black clothes or from the subjects if you're shooting some subjects for like commercials and so on. So you can use Retouch4me Dust plugin, and for the background you can use Retouch4me Clean Backdrop plugin. So sometimes the cyclorama in the studio is really so it's not clean actually. It's really hard to find clean white studio background because as soon as it's clean and you stop to walk on it, even if the shoes are brand new, you will get some marks and some particles on the floor. You have to remove it later. So if you don't have time to clean it, use Retouch4me Clean Backdrop plugin. So what about lighting? So in most cases, if you need to create the portraits with soft shadows, you need to take a big light source. So in this case, it's a big softbox and the reflection plate to fill the lights, the black, the shadow part of the face, like eyes and the neck. And also, there is a light for the back of this man, and the light source goes right to the background, so it stands out from the background. So if you need to create like a hash light, so your lighting source should be small, but in most cases it is better to use the bigger light sources, like in this example, and you will get smooth shadows on the face without any small wrinkles and without hard texture on the face. So actually, women will appreciate that. As for the men portraits, so sometimes it is better to use hard lighting. The skin is looks nice, but if you have some post acne on the face, so it is better to use soft lighting also. So continuous light and flash. So what to choose? So if you're shooting movies, of course, you will need to use continuous lighting. And continuous lighting means that you see how it goes on your subject. So it is easier to make it. But in some cases, if you're shooting, it is hard to use continuous lighting because when you're shooting people during the sunny day, the light sources should be really powerful. And in this case, you have to use flashes or special uh, flashes, big and powerful for shooting people outside. Maybe you saw some images when the people standing outside during the sunny day, and you see the sky behind, it is really dark. So to make such images, you have to use really powerful light sources like flashes, and sometimes, for example, I did once such images. I have to use three flashes at once, but it works great. And if you're using continuous light, it is better to use it in the studio. You can adjust it, adjust all shadowing for your subjects, and it is really great. If you're using continuous light outdoors, it is better to use it during the night, for example. So there are lots of portable light sources, and you can create different colors. So they can change the colors. You can create different backgrounds, colors, and different lighting. So they actually work pretty well, and you can create different style of your images. So sometimes even the flashlight in your mobile phone works great if you're shooting people in the dark. So don't forget to use your mobile devices during the photo shoot if you don't have any other lights. So if you uh, did everything wrong and you got your images, so you need to then retouch them somehow. And there are two ways that you can do it without Photoshop in Retouch4me apps. So the first one is called Retouch4me Apex, and in Retouch4me Apex you have 12 tools in one app, and Apex is the cloud-based tool, so you need to have internet connection to work with it. And the great thing about Retouch4me Apex is that you can pay only per retouch. So actually, each tool in Retouch4me Apex you can buy separately as a plugin or as a standalone app. But in that case, you have to buy them one by one as a license. We have lifetime license, which is great, but if you want to buy 12 tools at once, it will be quite expensive for some photographers. So I think it is really great opportunities to use our and explore our tools to use Retouch4me Apex, because Apex can work as a plugin in Photoshop or as a standalone app without Photoshop. So it's like a small photo editor. It doesn't support raw files, but you can develop your raw files somewhere or just shoot JPEGs. So sometimes people shoot JPEGs, and if you are using your camera screen while shooting, so you can adjust the color you need, and you can freely shoot your subjects in JPEGs. So also Apex provides real-time preview. So as soon as you get your retouched version of your files, you can just tick the desired checkboxes here and immediately see the changes on the screen. And this is a great tool, not only for the beginners, but also for photographers who can retouch portraits and even content shoots. So because in Retouch4me Apex we have Fabric plugin and Clean Backdrop plugin. So maybe someone of you already using Retouch4me Apex released some great update that can work with the glasses. And if you shoot people with artificial lighting, you know that the reflections in the glasses are a real problem, and you have to do something with it. So you can update Retouch4me Apex. So actually, the Apex is free. You pay only per retouching. So you can buy retouching packs, and you can buy subscriptions if you want. So using Retouch4me Apex, you can just update it, and you'll get more tools. And actually, in the most recent updates, we have the tool that allows you to remove some subjects flawlessly from your images. For example, if you're shooting people and if you have some distracting elements on the background, you can just select them, and the program will remove them without any artificial things on your image. So maybe I can show you some examples using Retouch4me Apex. Also, you can use the Retouch4me Apex for batch processing if you have lots of files. So you can use batch processing in that app. Okay.
Yeah, oh, let's try because I was just trying out today different tools. So yeah, let's see. I'll just choose some random photo from today, and here you go. So I'll just go through what we have, right? So it's just a random photo of a couple. I hope you can see it. And I'll put it into retouching. And hopefully it works. So yeah, for me it was way faster. It's already there and it's already processing. But yeah, and I'll just turn on all of them. So we'll see how each works, and we'll put them somewhere in low. But one of the cases I heard about using Apex was for fashion photography. One of my friends, because she doesn't want to wait for photographer to do all the retouching because it's quite slow, she says. And usually she just gets all her, I think, all of the photos and does retouching the same day for entire series. Because for her, the most important is that she can do basic retouching. But yeah, let's see. Let me try to zoom in. Oh, I'm not sure if the quality though is good because you mightn't see it a bit blur now because I'm zooming in really close. But let's try. Let's see. So you can see slight adjustment here. The heel, right? There was an acne on the forehead and it just disappears right away. So we can turn on and then it just goes out and nothing else is edited. Then we can see little shine here on the skin, so we can add on some modifier and you can see how it removes So we can keep it high here because for the girl, she has already mattifier and everything, so she doesn't need it. But for the guy's skin, it's more shiny than hers. But I really hope you can see any difference because even my screen is now getting a bit blur. And the main idea, you can also add some volume if you'd like. You can see like how the shadows are added. So that's the portrait volume. I personally love it. And you can see some redness on the skin. You can also fix it with skin tone. So you can see it's not even on maximum, but if I put, it removes everything. So let's put it somewhere in the middle so it won't be too red or too, just to keep it more even. And in general, yep, you can just play with it. And I know some people heard about lifting. It's the only feature we have available only in Apex. You cannot find it in the panel and so on. So lifting, it actually identifies all of the faces, and you can see it also shows like male and female faces. So if we
Mm-hmm.
choose male face, right, we can increase some masculinity, but I'm not sure it's gonna work. Let me see. Oh, because I already applied it, right? So if we put it
Mm-hmm.
to maximum, let's say, not so much for this example, maybe hair volume. Yeah, you can see how hair volume works here.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, let's keep a little bit. I know some people like the hair volume, so we can do that here. And dodge and burn, but I don't think on this portrait you'll see anything. So, because it's quite far. And the rest are just as usual. You can always run eye vessels, eye brilliance, and so on. But my recommendation in general, whenever you're using Apex, what you do first, right, before you do anything, let me just try it one more time. So when we press browse image, we just select any photo that we have. Give me a moment, I'll just select
I've just sent you the
maybe.
image that I tried to retouch. Maybe we
Oh,
can try
okay,
it
okay, 1 second.
on your
Sure,
computer.
that would be better. Here we go. So the
Yes.
first thing is I've heard from many people, like they try to, like you can see the image now, and then you try to adjust it, right? You want to play with it and so on, but nothing happens. So the first thing you do, you press start retouching. And only after you will be able to adjust all of the effects that you prefer. So if you want to run heel or anything, so that's the first thing to do, just press retouch. And while it's processing, let's answer a question from Jim. He just asked, does Apex and ARAMS allow them both to export layer TIFFs? I think as an expert, it's only available for ARAMS, right?
As layer teeth. So in the latest release of Apex, you can also layers into Photoshop. And
All
let me
right,
just check it.
all right. Well, it would be great then. And for the second question regarding the removal tool,
But if you just saving images right from the Apex, so you will not get a layered version, like
all
TIFF with
right.
layers.
So I should be opening it inside Photoshop as a filter, apply, and then I will be able to export. Okay, okay, that makes sense. And for removal tool, definitely we're working on it, and I'll definitely share it with our team. But yeah, some tools are getting that. I think straight hair got a removal tool, so you can fix it the way we have in ARMS. Anyways, let's go back. Our photo was processed. So what we will start with, I think with the obvious. Let's go with the obvious, the fabric. We want to make a clear look so you can see how
Mhm.
it was and how it goes. I'll keep it a bit natural, but not too much. Then if it was a bit dirty, I would add a clean backdrop, but I think here our image is fine. Now let's go to the face. Well, what do we start with? Let's go with lifting because we want to choose, yeah, it's already identified it as male, so we can do the masculinity if necessary. By the way, double chin correction. I have one and I would always use it on my image, but this guy has the beard, so we don't need to do it. If you want, you can always add the hair volume. That looks good. Let's see. I think heel for this image we don't really need because there is no acne or spots on the skin. But what we can do, we can add some dodge and burn to fix those eye bags. It's not that much, but you
Mm-hmm.
can see the work is quite gentle. It's not that visible, so we can keep it there. And then, of course, we want to have a perfect smile, so let's go to the white teeth. If you want, you can do it like really white, but again, we are trying to keep it natural. And yeah, the rest, of course, eye vessels and eye brilliance. So eye vessels, they remove those red lines on the eyes. Usually manually it takes a lot of time. You can see, let me try to zoom in for you here. There was one eye vessel here, and now it just removes. So I don't have to paint it myself, which is quite nice. And then the eyes, if you want to make it slightly brighter, you can. Very easy and nothing to do manually here. So we can add skin tone to fix the redness. By the way, it works great, for example, if it's winter and your hands are a bit red, and then you got this cheek redness, you can fix it if you'd like that. And if there was some oily skin, we would also add the mattifier. You can see how on the nose it removes it, but let's keep it a bit less. So this if you need more clear images without any distractions. And portrait volumes, right? We didn't put it. In general, it just adds that shadow because sometimes when you run some of the tools like dodge and burn and you remove all of those imperfections, your face get a bit flat. So you can add that nice shadow to it, add some volume if you'd like. So the order of it is not necessarily like you don't have to follow any order here because AI does its thing. So just turn on whatever you like and then just press export or save. So this is how it works in Apex. I think, yeah, for Apex it's quite clear. I don't see any questions in the chat, so maybe we move to the next one.
Let's do it. Just let me run Retouch4me ARAMS. So give me a second. So this is Retouch4me ARAMS interface. You can create projects here and add images to your projects and then work with the project. So let's consider this photo shoot. Just give me a second. You can set the screen here if you are pressing the I button, so you will get some rating already. So you can actually analyze your images in the cloud. So you need to just select them all and click to analyze. For analyzing, we have additional credits. And if you use subscription for retouching, for cloud retouch, you will get AI analyzing credits. But you can cull your images manually also. So let me show you how to do it. So you can do it with the keyboard if you press P on the keyboard. So you can just select, just give me a second. Yes. So now you see this small flag here. So you can pick image as flag image as pick. And move on, just pressing P button there. If you need to reject image, you can just press X on your keyboard and they will be flag with the cross like this. And if you need to return to the neutral state, you can press U from the keyboard like this. So if you want to speed up this, I will show you how to do it. For example, if you want to cull images with the, you can just click persons here and or maybe just click like face features. So the problem, the program automatically removes images without faces. So it is really easy to cull images now. And actually, on here on the right side, you can open details panel, open faces here, and click this face icon. So you can see uh, clearly the face. During such culling, you don't need this left panel, so I can just remove it with this clicking by this icon. So I just double click on the image and I can just drag the border of this right panel. So here I can go from one image to another using right and left arrows on the keyboard like this. And the great thing about ARAMS is that you can see face closely here while you're going through your images. So you don't need to zoom in and zoom out. If you have more than one face on your image, you can switch between faces by clicking dot and comma keys on your keyboard. This is how it works. So actually, you can switch between your images using the keyboard like this, and you can switch between images using arrows and switch between faces using comma and dot keys on your keyboard like this. So how to speed up such culling? You can enable caps lock like this, and as soon as I set the rating, for example, you can also set rating using 1, 2, 3, so numeric keyboard on your computer, or you can set labels by pressing command 1, command 2, command 3, and so on. And I will be pressing P for flag image as peak. And as soon as I click P here, with enable caps lock, I immediately go to the next image. So in this mode, I can just clicking P or X button in case I need this image or I want to reject it like this. So P, so this image is blurry, for example, I don't need it. And this one is fine. So you can just check the faces, and if it's fine, you can just set it as peak and so on. So this is how to cull your images manually. As soon as you just create a flag or set the rating or color label for the specific shot like this, for example, I want to create a red label here, the program automatically goes to the next image. So this is how it works. It's pretty fast if you need to cull such images. So this is how it works. All right. So what about AI culling? So the program automatically defines faces on your images. And in this case, so we have a person's panel on the right side. You can set the similarity level. So the higher the level, the closer images should be in terms of the face. So if I set it to, I don't know, for example, 93%, there are lots of images, lots of person, but it's actually the same persons here. If you decrease the similarity level, I don't know, 50%, so you will get less persons, and it is easier to uh, go from one person to another. And actually, I can just set it like this. Sorry, well, the zoom panel hides me the program. Let me just go with okay like this. So, for example, I click the first person, and with the right click, I can tag it and write a name. For example, let me name Kate and click save. So here, as soon as I click other person, I will see the images on the screen, and I can set the name for this person also. So Jane, and then I can just select the faces with the person I need, like this, and right click, set it as Jane, and other persons. So you can check it like this. going from one to another. And here, for example, I see the image with right, and here is Jane also. Okay, and here you can just hit Control button and select all the rest images and tag them with a right click as Kate. So now you can switch between two persons during your photo shoot. So if you need to get images with the only person in the frame, you can just hit Option button and click the next person. So it's Jane here. So I get all the images with Kate now. If you have a wrong person, you can just set it as Jane. Once again, it's Kate. So this is how it works. Also, you can call your images using face features. And when you're working in the photo editor, and I did also such thing, you are starting to call bad images. And the idea behind that is that by if you're calling bad images, you train your brain to find bad images in your photo shoot, and this is not a good idea because it is better to train your brain to find good images. So this is how you can use this face feature. And for example, if you want to remove from your photo shoot images with, for example, out of focus, so you can immediately do it by one click here. So if you need to check those images, you can just hit this icon and go through this image and find the image that you need to save. Here you see that the images is really blurry here. Maybe, for example, if you need to save this image. So we actually have the great thing about AI culling in Retouch4me ARAMS is that you can change the culling criteria right here. So you can move your cursor to the face icon here, and here you see out of focus parameter, and you can just click on it and this image will disappear from out of focus images. So for example, you're gonna need this image also, and so you don't want to have such images among out of focus images, so you can just click on it like this. So actually, now I'm choosing the best images from the out of focus images like this. So this is how it works. And if I click here, so I don't need to have out of focus images in my photo shoot, I just click this eye icon here, and you can find this image here that it get to my image series like this. So now it works, and I can pick up this image for editing. Also, you can remove from your photo shoot automatically images using by image features as overexposed, underexposed, motion blur, bad pose, and so on. So this is how it works. Also, you can see that some images have ratings like 4.9. So this means that the ratings was set by AI automatically, and you can just go here and see why this image is not 5 star here. It's just because the person here closed the eyes, and you can see it here. And also you can just set your own rating for this image. Just click on it and press, for example, 5 on the keyboard, and you will get 5 star here. So this is how it works. So using AI culling is really great because you can remove from your photo shoot all the images that you don't want to have in your photo shoot, and you do not have to focus on the bad images. This is a really great idea about AI culling. So then you can go to the color correction for the images and change something here. In the latest version of Retouch4me ARAMS, we got tone mapping, so you can work with shadows, slightly make it brighter like this. So let me show you before and after, like this. This is how it works. Also, I can just increase texture here using using tone mapping. You can also dim the highlights on this image, make it more HDR look. And this is how it works. So this is before and after button, before, after. So as you see, I'm working with the raw images from Canon. I think it's CR3, and Retouch4me ARAMS supports raw files. You can enable to get JPEG previews from your raw files to speed up your culling. And also, for example, if you need to retouch your images, you can go to retouching panel, and here you can choose local or cloud. And I got the questions in the webinar chat. So if you already have Retouch4me license plugins, so you can go to the local tab and check the plugins that you want to apply to this specific image. So heal, mattifier, dodge burn, maybe parted volumes. I think that's all. And also here, we got also such question today, so you can just retouch preview here, and you can see the retouched image. So here is the before and after. Just check the face. Let me move the webinar panel like somewhere. So after. So this is how it works. And also you can just select, you can set the parameters specifically for each individual image, or you can just select all images and retouch them all together with the same parameters, and then export them choosing your location, image sizing, or file settings. So using Retouch4me ARAMS, you can export your images as TIFF with layers. So all retouching results will be on the separate layers. So if you need to change something, you can do it right there by changing the layers in Photoshop if you need to, but in most cases, people use just JPEGs. So this is how it works. So Retouch4me ARAMS is a great for high volume photography, and if you need to cull lots of images here, you can use AI culling, manual culling, and then you can just work with color correction and retouching. All right, let's return to the presentation. So you can download Retouch4me ARAMS now. So ARAMS is free. In free version, you can use uh, manual culling, for example, and you can uh, write all these cull settings to the files, and then open them in other editing program and got your ratings there. Also in Retouch4me ARAMS, you will get automatically tags for each image. Just forget you to tell you about it. Just let me show you. So here it is. It's bright, couch, dress. So in Retouch4me ARAMS, you will get these tags automatically for each image. And this is really nice. This is how it works. But if you want to retouch in Retouch4me ARAMS or use AI culling, you need to buy plugins, and for AI culling, you also need to get subscription. So this is how it works. So here is the link that you can use to download Retouch4me ARAMS. Probably you will get the link in the webinar chat, I think.
Yep, that is right. I have sent the link, and if you're watching the recording, check out the description below. There was one question from Bridget regarding the workflow. So maybe you can share your recommendation, Vitaly, because The question was, if one already has a workflow with Lightroom for weddings, how would you suggest to integrate the retouching? So he's using the panel for Photoshop right now, and it's quite useful. But if you can share any other ways to do so, that would be cool.
It's actually pretty big question, and I can answer it shortly. So if you have raw files and working with Retouch4me Lightroom, so firstly you need to set the parameters for the raw files in Lightroom, right? So you adjust color and so on in Lightroom. Then in Lightroom you need to select all your files and hit right button and choose. Let me just run the Lightroom and maybe I can show you, it will be better. Something like this. Just give me a second. Okay. So you adjust everything in Lightroom for your raw files. Maybe you call for your files there. Then you need to select all your files by pressing Command or Control A and right click, save metadata to files. So this way, Lightroom saves your retouching to the files like presets. Then you need to go to Adobe Bridge. Let me run it. Also, it's pretty tricky, but it works. Let me find it. So you need to. So I will show you how it works. So firstly, you need to find the way to these files. Go to folder. So I need to find the place of this image on my hard drive. Maybe I can do it from here. Show Finder. All right. I have found this folder. Then in Adobe Bridge, you need to get to this folder. Webinars, fast start. I will show you how it works. So let me show you Adobe Bridge. So here is my folder in Adobe Bridge. And for example, just let me show you this image. Oops, I just ran Photoshop. I don't need it. Okay, when you go to the Lightroom and let me just go to the Lightroom once again. This one. Yes, here is this image. And maybe I just show you, just for example, decrease the white balance. And in Adobe Bridge, you still, I don't know, you see it or not, this with a brownish tint image. And if you're in Lightroom, go to right click and save metadata to file, continue, then go to your Adobe Bridge. And as you see in Adobe Bridge, immediately applies your Lightroom settings. This is how it works. So the idea is that firstly, you need to set everything for your images that you need in Lightroom. The first thing. Then you need to go to Lightroom, select all your files in Lightroom here, and right click and choose metadata, save metadata to file. So this way, Lightroom tells Adobe Bridge about all the settings you do here. So this is the first step. Let me go to Adobe Bridge. In Adobe Bridge, you need to have actions. So in Photoshop, you can record an action. So in the action, you can apply the desired plugins that you want to with the specific settings to the specific image. And in Adobe Bridge, you can just select all your images here, then go to Tools. Let me find it. Tools, Image Processor. And here you can set the location for your files, set the quality for your files. And here at the bottom, you can set the action for your files that you already recorded and click Run. As soon as you click Run, Adobe Bridge develops your files, and then Photoshop applies retouching to your files. So in one row, you will go from your raw files to the retouched JPEG versions from Lightroom. So actually you can do firstly export your images from Lightroom as JPEGs and then apply AI retouching in Photoshop using actions and our plugins. But this way, using Adobe Bridge and image processor, you can just get from your raw files, uh, get your retouched JPEG files in one um, action, in one click. So I hope you get it. So once again, you need to set up your files in Lightroom, then right click on your files and save metadata to files, then go to Adobe Bridge, choose your folder with your files, go to Tools, Photoshop, Image Processor, and then you'll get such a dialog. And here you can uh, set the location for your new files, set the quality and file type, and then apply your action in Photoshop that you already prepared. Actually, on YouTube, I created a video on this, and it is called How to Batch Raw Files. Just let me check it. Maybe I can share the link in the webinar chat.
I think I have just shared the link to like batch retouching in Retouch4me apps, heal and dodge and burn. Is it?
This is the video about cleaning backdrop, cleaning background. So let me just copy the link address and set it to the webinar chat, guys. So here it is. So here is the link. Hopefully it works. So in this video, I'm showing how to do all the things that I just said using Lightroom, embedding metadata to the files, and using Adobe Bridge and actions in Photoshop. So all step by step. I think this is the one of the best way to apply our plugins in Lightroom if you would like to work with raw files in Lightroom and use Photoshop. So it's quite tricky, but it works. All right, guys, let's go to the presentation. It's actually, we already done it. So how to cull your images and retouch it. So you can use Retouch4me ARAMS for this. And you can apply for the culling in ARAMS. Here is the promo code for the free retouch credits for the cloud. You can use it for your retouching. And then, so after the culling your images, you can retouch skin, background, clothing, and everything else. So sometimes users ask us what to choose. So ARAMS is great for raw and JPEG editing. Actually, if you have lots of files and you need to AI and manual culling, you need to make basic color correction. You want to apply batch retouching. And if you need to work with your purchased plugins or cloud versions, so you can use Retouch4me ARAMS. So Apex, it's more simple. It has 12 AI tools. Here it works with JPEGs, PNGs, and TIFF files. And so it's cloud-based. You cannot apply your local purchased plugins in Apex, but everything is in one window. You pay only pure Retouch, and actually, if you run Retouch4me Apex as a standalone app, you can also use batch process in there. So it's fast, simple, and retouching. And in Retouch4me Apex, in the um, nearest, uh, newest versions, we have the glass glare removal tool there. It's already inside it. So how to avoid burnout during the season using mood boards or storyboards. Prepare to your photo shoots, prepare lighting, prepare your um, the places where you're shooting, backgrounds and so on, styles, clothing, and other things, and then use AI tools for uh, retouching and culling your images. And hopefully you will get great images and your clients will appreciate them also.